Howdy Hexers, Infamous Neo here. It's spoiler season once again, and we are well on our way to the release of Dead of Winter. Hogarth's ritual has been completed up in the Frostring Arena, Frostheart is shattered and broken, and the Dead of Winter Lixil is coming our way. It may or may not be news to you that this year I was chosen to be one of HEX's Exalted. Exalted is a community award that the powers that be at HEX bestow upon individuals that they deem worthy of the honour, and this year I have been fortunate enough to be chosen as one of these few honoured players. Exalted is much more than just a title though. The Exalted are immortalised in-game with a vanity card. Pretty cool stuff, right? There is going to be a card in HEX with my face on it, and today we're going to take a look at that card. I have been eagerly awaiting sharing this with you, and without further ado, let's get to it. The Exalted Pathfinder. He is a 4-cost single wild threshold, rare human ranger. He has 3 attack, 3 defense, and I believe he is also the first wild ardent human. And the effect text for this card reads Momentum 1, when you play a resource, draw a card. Now, if I'm not picking this card every single time because it's me, I'm certainly picking it every time for its effect. At 4 cost, 3 attack and 3 defense is a little bit low, but he more than makes up for this with his Momentum 1. Every time you play a resource, he gets plus attack and plus defense equal to the amount of momentum he has until the start of the next turn. Then, his momentum increases by 1. This means that the first time a resource is played, he'll get +1/+1 until the start of your next turn. The next time one is played, he'll get +2/+2, then +3/+3 for the third, and so on. Given time, Pathfinder can hit hard, and the longer he stays on board, the worse he gets. Let's be honest though, as good as momentum is, that's not the reason I'm taking this card every single time. Draw a card are the 3 little words that every TCG player wants to hear, and draw a card as a repeatable effect is something truly sought after. Exalted Pathfinder is without question a limited bomb, and although we've barely scratched the surface of this new set, he actually already has some help. When you're getting bonuses to stats and drawing cards every time you play a resource, you want to make sure that you have resources to play, so cards that can create or get additional resources for you can help a lot. Mesa Wildspeaker is a card that I'm probably going to be looking out for in draft if I have a Pathfinder, an efficient way to make sure I have more resources than just the ones I'm drawing naturally during the game. More resources of course means more chances to trigger momentum and to draw more cards. And let's not forget that having an Exalted Pathfinder turns your late game shard draws into another chance to draw something useful. In a dream situation perhaps you can hope for an Orchi Notion. It's a card that has the potential to tell you when a resource is on top of your deck and then play it in addition to your regular resource for that turn. What you really want to achieve with Pathfinder for optimal play is playing more than one resource a turn, drawing additional cards and ramping up that momentum really quickly. The champion Puckham Balthazar also has the potential to put a resource into play from the top of your deck if one happens to be there when you activate it. I would suggest looking out for ways in Dead of Winter to trigger these resource abilities more than once a turn. If you really want to get them into the realms of the silly, playing more than one resource every turn is the way to do it. Speaking of which, a new champion to Dead of Winter has been revealed recently, and her name is Lady Avalanche. She aims to be the champion of choice for all of these momentum-based strategies. 4 charges and a single wild threshold, and she gives you the power to give a troop momentum 1 permanently, and also you can play an additional resource the turn you activate this charge power. As we just said, playing multiple resources in a turn is the way to go, and Lady Avalanche allows for this the same time that you can normally play Pathfinder, so you can put him out there and draw with him right away. But better yet, if you can ramp into the Pathfinder on turn 3 using something like Verdant Mixologist, then using Lady Avalanche the following turn means that you can draw 2, get +3/+3 from momentum, and attack all on turn 4. And that's a pretty big turn if you can make it happen. Now, what we've just said about Limited does apply to Constructed too. But Constructed is a much more punishing place for troops that can't defend themselves and can't be played with an immediate effect. So, Pathfinder might just be too slow for Constructed, but it is draw and it's in wild, so if the cards fall down in the right place and the rotation is kind to this archetype, he could be a real player. Finding ways to get more resources or keep resources in your hand will likely help this guy out. Hate Hollow Witch allows you to play more than one resource each turn, and Midnight Gatherer has a diligence effect that lets you keep pulling resources to your hand each turn. With Pathfinder out, of course, those resources allow you to draw. So Gatherer this format might have a little bit more use than just turning into a Stroke of Midnight. Pair Pathfinder with Might Singer and you could be drawing a crazy amount of cards every time you play a resource. We'll have to see what new toys are in store for Wild, but hopefully we'll see the Exalted Pathfinder make some waves in Constructed. If it wasn't true before, it certainly is now. Wild is the place to be for card advantage. That is all for today, folks, but keep your eyes on Twitch, Twitter, and some of the HEX fan sites for more spoilers leading up to the release of Frostheart. Please let me know your thoughts on Exalted Pathfinder on the forums or in the YouTube comments below. You can watch my last video by clicking on the left of the screen now, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the right. As always, I'll be streaming nearly every single day on Twitch, so feel free to stop by. The link is below the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.